Welcome back. My name is Joseph Elchakia from Business in 10. Please share this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button. So the question for today, are mutual funds good for you? To answer this question, I'll be comparing them to index funds. Index funds are financial planners' best kept secret. When you talk to financial planners, they never mention index funds because they don't make much money on index funds. But they would push mutual funds. Why? Because they make loads of money on mutual funds. So recently I was doing some digging on mutual funds and I found this guy. He has his own YouTube channel and he's a financial planner. What he wanted to do with his team of professionals, they wanted to prove that mutual funds are better than index funds, and they focused specifically on the S&P 500 index fund. The S&P 500 index fund basically consists of the best 500 companies in the United States. Just to give you an idea, there are more than 66,000 mutual funds out there. Okay, so these guys had a big task at hand. So what they did, they looked through as much as possible in these 66,000 funds, and they figured that there were three funds that kind of compared to the S&P 500 index. Two of these funds, they kind of track the index a little bit better, a little bit worse, depending on how long the funds were there. And there's one of those funds, one of the three, did a little bit better than the index fund. Imagine this, 66,000 funds out there, and they found only one that did better than the S&P 500 index fund. This is like looking for a needle in a haystack. This is a lot of work, and for the average investor, there's no way this average investor can have these resources, the know-how, and the tools to do this analysis to find that one mutual fund to go invest in it. This is why we hire financial planners, so that they can guide us through all of this universe of index funds, so that we can put our money in it and make some money at the end of the day and secure our retirement. So today, to make all of this kind of come together for you, I'm going to compare mutual funds and index funds, and I'll leave it up to you to make up your mind on where to put your money. So mutual funds have these fund managers. They're supposed to be very smart, very highly paid. They have a massive team of analysts to kind of analyze the market for them to figure out where to put the money. So because of that big organization, mutual funds tend to have very high management fees. So it's very expensive. If you want to compare that to index funds are passive, meaning that the managers that manage the index fund, they do very little. Basically, let's take the S&P 500 index fund. So what they do, they watch the S&P 500. If a company comes off of the S&P 500 and another company gets into the S&P 500, so basically they adjust that. That's all they do. They don't have to be super geniuses. They don't need a team to analyze anything for them. All they do, they follow the index. And because of that, the management fees are very, very, very low. By the way, we offer pre-retirement planning courses. We call them pre-retirement, but they are courses to help you plan for life, for today, and to help you plan for the future, for retirement. In these courses, we cover subjects such as financial planning. We cover estate planning. In the estate planning portion of the course, we cover things like wills, how to write a will, what to put in the will, and what not to put in the will. Also, we cover tax at death. And yes, there is a lot of tax at death. In fact, you pay the most amount of money in taxes at death. We cover physical health and well-being, basically how to live a healthy life. We are now producing videos on healthy living. Please watch for these videos. We also cover psychological aspects of life and how to transition from today and into retirement. It's a very comprehensive course. Please check these courses. The links are in the description section below. Let's get back to mutual funds and index funds, and let's talk about management fees. Funds have what's called management expense ratio, or MERs. This is your annual cost of owning the fund. Mutual funds MERs can vary from 1% to 3%. The average MER for a mutual fund is approximately 2.25%, and it's split this way. Product overhead, which is administration, 0.25%, fund manager charge, 1%, trailing commission, which is split between advisor, your financial planner advisor, and firm, 1%, total 2.25%. In comparison with this, the index fund is 0.1%. Now, some of you may think this is small numbers. Why am I bothering with this? Well, these numbers are compounded year after year after year. So they're very big numbers after 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years. So I think you should worry about them. Now let me do an example to show you the impact of the MER on your money. Okay, let's take $10,000 and invest it in a mutual fund, and let's take another $10,000 and invest it in an index fund. Also, let's consider the average annual return on investment is 7% for both mutual fund and index fund. And the only difference here is the management fees, the MERs, okay? So the MER for this example is 2.25%, as we talked earlier, for the mutual fund, and 0.1% for the index fund. And now let's consider this. Let's put this money, okay, the 10,000 mutual fund and the 10,000 index fund, let's put it in there for 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years and see what happens to this money, okay? So after 10 years, the $10,000 in mutual funds becomes $15,905. And the $10,000 in the index fund becomes $19,488. So the index fund did better than the mutual fund by $3,583. After 20 years, the index fund does better than the mutual fund by almost $13,000. And after 30 years, the index fund does better than the mutual fund by almost $34,000. So folks, we put $10,000 in mutual funds and $10,000 in an index fund. After 30 years, that $10,000 in a mutual fund becomes $40,236. And after 30 years, that $10,000 in an index fund becomes $74,016. The difference is about $34,000. Okay, that is a huge amount of money, and that's only due to the MER. We did not consider performance. And if we consider performance, the index fund will way outweigh the mutual fund. Here's something for you. Warren Buffett, the chairman and CEO of Berkshire, one of the most successful investors of all time, you probably heard about him, said a low-cost index fund is the most sensible equity investment for the greater majority of investors. By periodically investing in an index fund, the know-nothing investor, which is the majority of people out there, can actually outperform most investment professionals. So basically, if you put your money in an index fund, you're going to do better than most of these very smart, very highly paid fund managers. That's an eye-opener in my opinion. Not only this, Warren Buffett put his money where his mouth is. He made a bet, okay? I think it was $1 million bet, okay? And he said, if you guys can do better than the index fund, and he gave him 5 years, okay? I'll give you $1 million. Guess what? He won the bet. So that's basically what I wanted to share with you. What I think is this: no one cares about your money like you do. Find yourself a good and honest financial planner. They do exist. Get educated on money and how it works. This is why we give those pre-retirement planning courses, and I'm telling you, it's a drop in the bucket. I just gave you an example where you can make substantially more money if you know what you're doing, and those courses give you that know-how to save money, to make more money. Okay, so take those courses, check them out. They are in the description section. Look at index funds as a way to invest your money. Get educated on that as well. Challenge your financial planner on their management fees. It's your money at the end of the day, and I just showed you an example. It's like loads of money goes to them and fund managers. Challenge your financial planner on the choices they make in investing your money. Invest your money for the long term. Don't look at your money every 5 minutes. You will drive yourself crazy. This is it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit that bell button. Check our pre-retirement planning courses. Like I said earlier, they're dropping the bucket. They're gonna cost you a little bit of money. They're gonna save you tons of money. On top of that, your management pays for these courses. Joseph here, and see you next time.